everyone, my name is Dawn, and today I am going to help you learn how to speak English fearlessly with full confidence, where you're not going to be shy anymore and you don't have to second guess yourself. You can just speak. And so if that interests you, keep on watching. If you or somebody you know is learning English right now, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel and hit the little notification bell, because that means you're going to get future notifications of my other videos. All right, so trust me, I totally understand the feeling of being really scared and nervous to just speak a language that you likely know a lot about. I know for myself, I can empathize with this because when I was 5 years old, I was put into French school, and I learned French all the way until about 12th grade, and then I continued in my university days. There were a lot of times where I just recognized, maybe like as a teenager, that I'm like, I know French. Like, I've done all of the exercises. I know what I should be saying. I know how it works. Like, I understand it perfectly, but I just can't get the words out. I can't spit it out. Unless it was a presentation that I had to practice a million times, that was okay, but just talking freaked me out. And so I actually did a lot of the tips that I'm going to share with you now of how I was able to speak confidently in French. And so you can apply the exact same things in English. The first thing you want to do is really make sure you take advantage of every resource you have. By using those resources, you're going to really actively learn and speak English better. So for example, reading. When you are reading a book or reading an article or reading something you found on social media, try to say it out loud. Read it out loud. And of course, like, do things that interest you. Like, read things that you were going to read anyways. Maybe you're just going to read it in your head, maybe scan it, but no. Take a moment and actually say it out loud. What's going to happen is you are going to recognize, oh, maybe I don't know how to pronounce this word. Then you can search for it or ask somebody. Or you're going to recognize, oh, I didn't realize this is how it feels in my mouth as I'm saying it out loud. So really being able to read and speak is going to get you more familiar with your own voice and how your mouth moves as you are speaking a different language, which is English in this case. If you want to take it a little step further, which I encourage you to do, then I would definitely make sure that when you're reading, take the time to recognize, oh no, I did not say this right. I am going to keep saying it until I have no mistakes, no errors. I'm going to say it perfectly. If you so happen to have a friend nearby who speaks perfect English or is a native English speaker, go ahead and ask them, am I saying this correctly? Do I sound proper? Am I using the right intonations, the right stress? Like, ask a friend. Like, there is no shame in asking for help whatsoever. And if you're not sure if you're saying it correctly or not, and you don't have a friend, it might be a little bit more meticulous, but what you can do is compare your voice to maybe an audio. So if you listen to an audio, maybe a podcast, maybe play 10 seconds of it, record yourself with those same 10 seconds, then compare them. Recognize, oh, they actually say it like this, but I say it like this. And then train yourself to say it more like this. And eventually it's going to adapt to you much better. All right, the next thing you want to do to speak fearlessly is to definitely get some kind of teacher or get some kind of buddy that's going to hold you accountable for your progress. And so I'm not saying that you need to spend so much money to find a teacher out there. What you can do instead is just have a friend and be like, hey, I really need to practice my English. I need to speak. Can you just hold me accountable? Maybe we can have a conversation maybe once a week or twice a week to really make sure that you are holding yourself accountable. It's so easy to just slip through the cracks. That is an idiom, meaning that sometimes it's really easy to just stop doing something and procrastinate, and then next thing you know, it's like 1 month later and you thought, oh shoot, I had the intention to do this, but I was doing it myself and I slipped through the cracks and nothing got done. I am still in the same position. Don't think like that, because you know what? The time is going to pass anyways. And so just make sure you're using your time properly. And having an accountability partner, whether that is a teacher or somebody who speaks really well in English, who will help you make sure that you are meeting your goals. Another great idea, which is the next one, is to try to find some kind of study group, because when you find a study group, you will be able to have a few different partners who will hold you accountable, but also you will be able to choose what kind of topics you like to discuss. Maybe you find some friends that are like, yeah, I really enjoy politics. And so maybe you all get together once a week or once a month to just have discussions or whatever your heart desires. Or maybe you're really into fashion and you want to talk about the latest Met Gala outfits, like those kinds of things. Like you want to make sure that you find like-minded people. Maybe you find them in your circle of friends that you already have, or maybe you send out an ad being like, hey, does anybody else want to join our group to talk about things that interest us? Maybe that's climate change, maybe that's how to go to America, like those kinds of things. Like there's endless topics, and I'm sure you're going to find like-minded people that you can just get together and talk. And what I encourage you to do is to just make sure this group is smaller, like 5 people or less. And the reason why is because all of you will get a chance to talk, and it's much easier to coordinate when there's less than 5 people. Now, this next one would be really fun, and this is making friends with expats. So expats are people who have left their origin country and have moved somewhere around the world. I know for myself, I am an expat from Canada, and so I left Canada and I moved to Peru. And so in Lima, which is where I live, we have a bunch of expats everywhere. And this is the same for any other metropolitan city. And so if you are in a metropolitan city, like around the world, you will easily find expats. But if you're in a more rural community, then maybe doing a little bit of homework online to find where those communities are will really help you, because if you're able to maybe go to their events, or maybe ask them if you wanted to show them around, or those kinds of things. Like if you're befriending an expat, they will first of all take you with open arms, because expats are always looking for new friends. But you'll also get a lot of practice. And so it's a really great way to really start confidently speaking, especially if that expat doesn't speak your language at all. Then it's a good chance to really try to communicate with them. And just some ideas to try to find where these expats are is there's always Facebook groups. Always there's a Facebook group in any city that expats are using as a community. And so you can join one of those groups and then see if anybody would be willing to, I don't know, go for coffee, or have a group go to the museum together, anything like that, or even just have a get together at the park. Like, I am sure you will find a few people who would be more than happy to join you. Now, if the idea of talking to people in person kind of freaks you out, which is totally normal, then there's another thing you can do to try to join these communities of only English speakers. And that would be to find online forums, because online forums have many conversation groups where you are able to practice your English. Now, I would avoid, like, for example, Reddit. Reddit is amazing. Like, actually, don't avoid it. Like, use Reddit. But for the sake of being able to speak, try to find a conversation group that has some kind of Zoom call or some kind of like video or audio or just calling, so that you're actually talking. Avoid just typing. Maybe you're already great at typing. That's not the goal right now. The goal is to speak fearlessly. And so actively find groups where you are able to talk to them, and then you'll have a fun little language exchange. And just another tip, when you are looking for some kind of communication group or some kind of like talking or language exchange group, really just make sure that you keep yourself safe. You can always create an anonymous profile if you like, and be sure that you join groups that actually interest you. Like if you really love Marvel movies, then find a group that's just talking about Marvel movies. Or if you really love cooking or gardening or yoga or going to the gym, like there's so many different topics out there. And so you will easily be able to step into one of them and talk about things that you love to talk about. Now, my next tip for being able to speak English fearlessly is to really make sure you don't overdo it. That is another idiom which kind of explains like, don't try to go too hard. Don't try to like go into overdrive just trying to do English 24/7, because there is a thing called burnout. Burnout is when you literally burn yourself out of energy. You have no more energy, you have no more strength to practice what your goals are, because you just don't want to look at it anymore. You've consumed too much of it, you're just done, you want to do your own thing, and then you just quit. And that happens really frequently. A lot of people have strong goals at the beginning, which is really admirable. However, are they sustainable? And usually they are not. And so make sure when you decide, yeah, I want to focus on like doing my English, but making sure that I speak fearlessly, make that as a goal, but don't go too hard to the point that you don't even want to do it anymore. So just keep that in mind. Make sure that there's enough space in between your English activities so that your mind can be rested and you'll be always excited to do it. So if not, it might be a little tricky. All right, the next tip is to avoid procrastination. So make sure that when you are practicing your English that you actually have a set schedule. Try to make sure that when you make your schedule for English that it's something that's going to be sustainable, something that you can do if it's every day. You don't have to do 1 hour every day. You can do 15 minutes every day, right? It doesn't have to be a full hour. It can be 45 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. As long as it's consistent, then you're going to see results. Don't try to just be like, okay, I'm going to do 2 hours, because just like the last tip, you're going to burn out and you are not going to be successful. And so have a plan, make a schedule, stick to it, and make sure you give yourself a little reward. So if you find yourself like in the month of September coming up and you're like, oh my goodness, I am doing excellent. I have done every single appointment that I said that I was going to practice English. I practiced just 5 minutes every single day the second I woke up. If I am able to do this, then I am going to treat myself to ice cream, or I am going to treat myself to a vacation, like all those things. Like make it fun for yourself. And the last tip is to remember why you want to practice English. Remember why speaking confidently and fearlessly is so important to you, because you might be surprised of what is driving you. Maybe that is an opportunity to work abroad, work in America, live the American dream. If that is your goal, like feel that feeling, because that's going to be your why and your drive to actually speak English consistently, so that you're not scared anymore, that you're going to be fearless. And so just remember that. What is your why? Is it to travel? Is it to work abroad? Is it to make more money? Whatever it may be, think about it, feel it, and then go for it. All right, so that is the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.